Good morning! It is Friday, just woken up in Mam or Mayhem. Don't know how to pronounce it, we should really check these things before I push record. But slept well last night, feeling fresh. It's been a nice quiet spot this. No one's bothered us, and it was nice letting up. And we had space for a bonfire finally. I think today we are away to head to Galway, have a look around, grab some lunch, and then head to the cliffs of Moher. And then after that, maybe make way to Limerick, but we're not really sure that far ahead yet. Let's go! Whilst it's daylight, I'm going to show you a quick setup of where I'm sleeping in the van. Sleeping in the front with a piece of ply down with an airbed on top. It's actually surprisingly comfy. Had a great sleep last night. This is how the working class roll, baby. I was looking at camper vans to get my own one separately, but the prices of camper rentals in Scotland are extortionate, especially in comparison to New Zealand. They're quite reasonably priced. But I also thought I won't get to spend much time with mum and dad if I'm just following them about in a separate van all the time. So yeah, dad came up with this genius idea just to sleep in the front. It worked great. Also, you need to try this honey lemon ginger tea. Just go easy on the lemon juice. We've got a wee laugh at the roadwork signs in Ireland, because in the UK it looks like a man trying to put up an umbrella, but here in Ireland it looks like a wee man lifting a giant spoon of sugar to his cup of tea. It was quite hard to find parking in Galway city, so we ended up parking way over beside the harbour. Well, it wasn't that far, to be honest. It was only a 10-minute walk into town. But here they were unloading these huge giant windmill turbines off of ships. It's not a job I'd fancy doing that as being a truck driver of those things. had a wee look around this wee street market, which was pretty cool. They had lots of crafts and stuff. And they also had a lot of street food. But we ended up going for lunch in this pub called the Skeffington Arms. And it was cool on the inside. I would love to come back here for a night out in Galway, because this place looked like it could go off in the night time. It's got plenty of space for it anyway. Also heard a lot of Brazilians in here. I'd say about all 4 tables around me. I could pick up the Portuguese language now. Used to struggle between the Spanish and the Portuguese, but I think I can finally tell the difference. That's Mr. Bean in a wig look. I hope that's no one of importance and I'm not offending anyone. Now we've seen this in other videos, people talking about this famous seafood chowder in Ireland, so we're definitely going to get that to try, and a roast of the day probably. I haven't had a good roast in a long time, so fingers crossed. And we're all on the non-alcoholic Guinnesses today because it was a bit heavy a few nights ago in the stomach. So both the chowder and the roast was banging, so good place to come for a lunch. Skeffington Arms if you're ever in Galway City. Now, just in case you never knew, Pennies is Primark, and Pennies originated in Ireland actually, but they couldn't use the name in the UK and Europe because there was an American company with the name Pennies already, so they had to adopt it and change it to Primark. And having another look around the souvenir shop, and we still can't find our Guinness hats, which is annoying because we've actually got some sitting at home in Scotland. We just forgot to take them. So after a nice look around Galway, we got back to the van after a few hours exploring, and they were still unloading these wind turbines. Must have been loads of them. some view. That's the first part anyway. It's real windy, so unfortunately I won't be able to fly the drone here, and I'm not sure if you're allowed to on these heritage UNESCO sites anyway. What do you think?
Well, let's go.
Ah yeah, there it is, look, no drone zone. I knew there'd be a sign somewhere. Also seen memorials up here and the Samaritan hotline number signs scattered around, which is quite sad to see. There must have been a few people here come to take their own lives, which is pretty tragic. Jeez, can't imagine. Views here are really something else. I got about halfway and had to turn back, or else it's going to start getting pretty dark. We don't want to be driving these narrow roads too dark, but we're going to head back, check out the castle, have something to eat and find a place to stay.
We're gonna walk back here at dark even.
I know, real close to the cliff edge.
There's a fence, like, it's getting dark now, is it?
We're exhausted, out of breath.
Good workout.
I know, it's the most workout I've had in days. Well guys, that has been the Cliffs of Moher. Really stunning, love those. Recommend come see those if you come to Ireland. I think it's one of the most well-known attractions that you'll see on the tourism adverts. A little bit pricey to get in, it was €25 per person. Mum had a sore head so she wasn't with us anyway. But I think you can do it for free. You just have to walk along the coast and you'd have to park in the nearest town, which I don't think's that far actually, so I'd probably do that if I come again. Yo, that's us just arrived at our park up for tonight. We are in a wee village called Kinvara, which is actually the home of traditional Cayley music, we just found out. And being from Scotland, we love our Cayley music. We were doing some at our cousin Lorraine's wedding last week. And on top of that bonus, it's the car park of a pub, so we'll be able to nip across and get a Guinness, which we're away to do after we get changed. Well guys, you should know the drill by now. This is how we end the night and our videos. We're away to sink some Guinness once again. And we will see you on the next one. Adios.